Hello, welcome back. Right, as you can see today I'm playing Paperboy. Now I did own this back in the day when it was released by Elite in 1986/87. Conversion of course of the famous Atari arcade game. I'm playing it today on the Encore re-release. Encore was obviously Elite's budget label, because my original version is long since gone. Now this is a great sort of arcade conversion. I'm sure everyone knows Paperboy. Thanks to Graham Mason for supplying me with this copy. You play the titular Paperboy, and you've got to go through a week delivering all the papers to all the houses in a particular street, whilst avoiding getting cancellations and stuff. Now he obviously takes his job way too seriously, because he's actually out on his bike delivering papers, unlike most Paperboys I knew, who used to sort of, once they'd picked everything up, go and dump it all in the nearest bin and get their pay until people started moaning and that they weren't getting their papers, and then they'd get sacked. Right, controls are Q, A, O, P and N for fire. This came out on sort of everything basically, and also, strangely enough, looking in the instructions, it also came out on the BBC. Now if anyone has any idea what it was like on the BBC, please let me know. Right, let's get on with it. So I am Paperboy. Now I always enjoyed this. Really great sort of little game. You'll see it's, you know, it doesn't bear any resemblance to the arcade game, but bear in mind what the arcade game was, and this all fits in 48K. What Elite managed to do here, it really is quite good. Now how does this fare to the other conversions? If anyone could tell me, please let me know. Now you've got to hit these white houses. These are the ones that have got active subscriptions, okay? And if you miss it like that, that will become a missed or a cancelled subscription at the end of the day. Right, that's another one I've missed, and that's quite sort of tricky, making sure that you hit the sort of post box right on where it needs to be sort of got. As you see there, I just hit the side of the house with one and ended up getting it. But right, so he's not going to cancel either. Now you can see there's various hazards and stuff around. Everyone knows Paperboy. You've got go-karts, random tyres, cars, drunken people wobbling along, skateboarders, and you've got this bonus sort of thing at the end of each level, which, oh, bollocks. Right, you can see how many cancelled subscriptions did I get there. Oh, 4. Yeah, right, okay. Let's see how I do. Come on then. Right, it's Tuesday now. Right, so he's fine. Now, sound-wise, as you can tell, there isn't an awful lot going on, other than that sort of like puffy, farty sort of sound when you throw a newspaper. There's only sort of spot effects really. Now see, look, I've just chucked that one right over that house. That's going to be a cancelled subscription. You can, of course, destroy the bins and smash windows on the ungrateful bastards who will not subscribe to you or use your services, and you get points for that as well, as you saw there. What's it like on the balls? What's it like on the other versions, Commodore, Amstrad, etc.? Is it any good? Is it crap? Because I always thought the Spectrum version was quite good fun. You get 10 newspapers at a time, but you find bundles of them lying around, so while they can't just go and help themselves to a newspaper, I don't know. But it wouldn't be much of a game if it did that, would it? Right, so we're back on Tuesday. I don't think it did too badly, cancelled subscriptions wise, on this one. We shall see, though. We shall see. Oh, right, okay. Maybe I did. Right, so graphics, yeah, really nice. That kind of blue on black monochrome. Obviously, the Spectrum in its early days always was going to be monochrome. But we saw later on, you know, it didn't stop the Spectrum having some really colourful games in the end. In particular, Paperboy 2, which isn't as fun to play as this game. I don't think it did as well as this game, I'm not too sure, but it looks bloody lovely. It's got some really nice colourful graphics in it, and I believe it's by the same sort of people who brought us Dan Dare 3, Savage, etc. So if you are familiar with Paperboy 2, let me know. Now, as ever, I want your comments and your reminiscences, whether or not you liked the Spectrum version of Paperboy, whether or not you hated it, whether or not you've played any of those other versions, you know, whether or not this is the best or the worst. Please let me know. What about in the arcade? Did you used to play it in the arcade? There was one in Dimchurch with the sort of handlebars controller that bullshit. It's talking too much. Down in Dimchurch in the arcade down there that I used to play with the sort of handlebar controller. And there was always a queue around the Paperboy machine. You know, people always wanted to sort of play it. It was... Oh, I got it just in time. Right, back to the bonus level. Now, the Spectrum is awash with great arcade conversions. You've got, of course, you've got Commando by Elite, Flying Shark, R-Type. I even Chase HQ is probably one of the best ones. I even like the Specky version of Outrun, even though most people seem to think it's a pile of wank. I really enjoy it. Bubble Bobble, fantastic game on the Spectrum. And there's also some crap conversions as well. Now, what was your favourite ZX Spectrum arcade conversion? You know, there's Gauntlet as well. And what did you think was worst? My possible worst one is going to be Kung Fu Master, without a shadow of a doubt. That game is absolutely, utterly hopeless. And for the best ones, I'm going to go for one that's probably really sort of obscure, but I think is utterly a brilliant conversion. That's Motos by Mastertronic. Now, I'd never heard of the arcade game before I picked that one up, and it's absolutely fantastic, and I suggest that you sort of try it. So that's what my question to you is: your favourite and your least favourite arcade conversions for the Spectrum. That's it. You've got the gist of Paperboy. It's a really fun little game. Could use a sound transplant, some music, etc. But it's sort of iconic, and I used to play that a lot in the summer of 1986, etc. Especially when it was rainy. But there you go. There you go. That's my review of Paperboy done. Thanks ever so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye. If you like the video, please let me know. If you wish to subscribe, please do so. It's going to be great to see you. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.